All right. Today we're together with some of our favorite people. It's Carla and David, because it's España. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this invitation. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. And for some of the listeners out there, you will have heard Carla's voice a lot of times, as she's also part of Cecilia's The Ladies Fixing the World podcast. But we also wanted them on this part of our podcast and wanted to have David also there. So here we are. First time we met was it 19?
Yep.
Yeah. In Granada, where we were at the Worldschool Summit, who for us were life-changing. And I don't know how it was for you, but many of the people we now count among our dear friends, not people that we met back then, and actually where we are right now is true connections made back then.
Bet them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So here we are, and we also met you and have had the joy of being together with you many times. And you, besides attending Worldschooling events, have also started to create some yourself.
Yes,
And I would
that's
love to
true.
hear about that.
Yes. So you will continue hearing my voice here. For us, the first time we went to this summit was a year before that, in the 2018 in Thailand, and it was also life-changing. It said some things, ideas, how we wanted to do this, how we wanted to do the things. And we never thought on organize nothing, because if you search on the internet, and the group was already so big, I have so many inspiring things, people, that it was enough. But when we met in Granada in this summit where we were the local coordinators, a lot of Spanish people reach us because we are from Spain, and they ask me, "Is everything in English?" So then I realized, oh, maybe I can do something for the Spanish community. So actually I started doing, I have a website and a lot of things about Worldschooling, but in Spanish. And then I also realized, oh, maybe I can do some of these hubs. I can do it one by myself and organize and bring people to where I am. So then we also try that. So yeah, more or less, very short explain.
Yeah, I don't know where I should start with all the questions. I mean, it's a great thing to facilitate knowledge and just community for the other world schoolers, to not just use it but actually create it. That's why we're doing the podcast, and you took it one step further to do a hub, and as far as I understand, it just happened. We were planning to come actually, but then other things happened. Yeah.
But you prefer the winter in England, yeah?
No, we don't. I don't know what happened. This winter plan. Oh, we're only going south for New Year.
But it's better than earlier in life.
7 years that we're north in the winter. So maybe you did a Norway, Sweden winter.
Yeah, but we like the cold winters.
Yeah, we don't.
No,
we like the people. It's about the community. So that's what we're trying to talk about today. How to create and maintain community while being a world schooler.
Yeah, I think you have to have something before. It's something you look for, like people, because what I have found is people choose to where I'm going, why, but it's always about a place, or I don't know. It's not actually the people.
Yeah.
It's a process they have to learn, because they ask me, how do you find people? It's like, it's what I look for. I look for people, and I keep my connections. this is also I have learned that people don't do.
Yeah.
Mm.
They don't keep the connections. Maybe because they don't like the phones and being chatting.
Yeah.
But how
Social
do you
networks, or using the Facebook groups, for example, the base in the world schooler groups, no? So
Mm.
many people don't want to use it. I don't know.
what is fine, but if you want to live like moving and you like to keep connections with the people, I don't know, it's like family.
Yeah.
You keep in touch with your family, so you keep in touch with friends.
Yeah.
If you want to keep also with the kids, they need to
Interact.
interact. And what do you have? Oh, we are lucky we have this. I mean,
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But it is also a trap. I find it a very hard balance. I think we are pretty good at keeping in touch.
It made me actually think about, do you remember before you started going to your first summit and before you started homeschooling? I remember sitting there and reading what other people did and just being like, oh, that sounds incredible. So I think before you take the steps, there's a lot of dreaming, a lot of, is this even possible? And browsing on groups and looking.
for me, it was, I don't know, I think life put the things in front of us. Yeah, and then it's like, it's more like, I don't like this, I need something else. So then I have to find something, and it was quite in a hurry because Roberto went to school 2 days, and I was like, this is not for us. And it's not that I was sitting in calm reading. No, it's like I need something. I didn't do my homework, before, because I was like trusting that it will be fine with the school I found. And then it was kind of in a hurry, but we were lucky to find this other alternative project. And it was everything, new people, amazing people, teaching us another way to look life.
Yeah.
And
Different point of view of the life. Manage your family, normal tax and everything, more than in your mind. When you think about the something, and it's you only have sometimes one way, but no, you have a lot of way. You need only open. The process for open your mind was super nice for us.
it was nice.
For the
It's
family.
like, yeah, we didn't have to, I mean, we have find this place. And then when I need to know more, because this point arrived, when, okay, yeah, this is super cool. We are now in calm. So then I need to research more. I'm not the kind of person who look for books. I don't know why. I come from the scientific field, so I was researching at university. But in terms of parenting and family, I always look for families and other parents. I cannot explain, but for me, it's like I don't think I will find nothing in the book that families can show me. I just need I just need references, and then I pick what I feel is for me. So it's when we start our travel, actually, because we were looking for this kind of projects with families that they have older kids. I wanted to see that kids. I don't wanted to read about the kids. I wanted to see them.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
funny
so for
how
us was like,
it's just funny how the community really carries it. We have the similar initiation story of really when we started homeschooling, unschooling. We met other home educators, and we usually say it's a little bit like the Narnia story where you walk through the closet and it's a lot of coats and it's dusty and dark and weird in the beginning, but then you realize on the other side there's a completely different world. It's like a fairy tale out there. Things work in a different way. People are amazing. There are adventures. And it really was for us also the families we met that was also home educators in the beginning in Copenhagen. who would just question everything, as you said, David. It's not only about the education or not education of the kids, it's about the whole minds, everything you think, you start put a question mark behind it, and you discuss it with these people who just are open-minded and think in a free way, and are open to just have an open discussion about how can we look at this thing. So that for us as well was the beginning. And I find it very interesting because when I talk to people who don't home educate, it's always one of the two questions. Can they read? Do they have friends? So it's always half of their thing is community. What do you do for community? And really for it community carries it, and community presents itself, like you said, Carla, that it happened to you in your life. That's how I have experienced our community when we went full-time traveling on top, so no school and no house. It has never been hard to find people, really. We've been carried by people and we've bumped into people. I remember on one of the Canary Islands, once we sat down on the beach, on a very crowded beach on La Palma, because La Palma has very few swimmable beaches. And it was around Christmas, so there were loads of tourists. And I sat down, and because I had to sit so close to the next person, I said hi, and we started chatting. And he was one of the 3 home educating families on the island. And this is not a unique story. It really is not a problem, just like the reading, just let go and they will start reading. And in the same way, if you grab that moment and start talking to the next person over, and you send a text message, you make sure you get the number, you make sure you stay in touch. I don't do Facebook that much, but then I do phone calls and WhatsApp, and just maybe more rarely than I should. But it is about having that mindset of community. Also to travel for community. That's the reason we're here in the cold, rainy Northern Europe in the winter. It's because there are people we want to hang out with. Yeah.
There's a fun story about some of the park meetups for homeschoolers. For example, we have been in an area in Barcelona, and people are saying, oh, there's some homeschoolers meeting up on this day in this park. And we were like, oh, but do we know any? Will we be able to find them? And then when you come to the park, you're like, oh, it will be easy. It's all the ones with the kids with the long hair, and you can just see them. You find each other. I want to honor you, David, and it is because you were right, and I will come with that story later, and B, I often, when people ask me, so how can you afford to travel? Is it even possible? And when I want people to think out of the box, I say to them, and I know, of course, both of you do so much more, but the story I tell to them is, well, I have this friend. He's an online mechanic. And people are like, what? How's that even possible? And then I say to them, have you ever went to the mechanic yourself? And they say something to you, and you can be like, but how can I trust them? How would I know? I know nothing about cars. They will just take all my money and run. No, but kind of. I can feel so unmanly, insecure that they could say actually whatever to me about my car, and I will trust them. So what I like, and one of the services you have offered, I don't know if you still do it, is you can walk through people there with their car if there's a problem before they go to the mechanic, and often it will save them loads of money. And I've been very grateful to have you on the hotline. Because I mean, when there's something that is blinking in the car, and I'm like, what is this? And then you can call, and it's like, it's nothing, just chill. Okay, but it blinked. Yeah, it's okay. No, but where I wanted to say you are right, and where I wanted to thank you a lot, was one of the other things you do, and this is a recommendation to everybody, is that you sometimes help people to find the right van for them. And you found the right man for us, and I love it, man. I'm so ever grateful. And the argument you won was about the length of the van. I thought that 7 meters was too much. And all the times I said, can't I asked you a couple of times, don't
Not
you
a couple.
No, many
25.
times. Yeah. I said, but David, can't I have the 6 meters is fine, or 6.5. You want a toilet in it? Yes. 7 meters, yes. Well, I
It
assure
could not have been 2 centimeters
No.
shorter. We could not have.
no, we couldn't absolutely not have been in it. And your ability to know what you need to look for and find, it was just such a gift in our life, and I want to give that recommendation. So to everyone out there dreaming on converting a camper van, this is a good man. So I just wanted to give you all that love and gratefulness.
Person called.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can
Thank
say
you.
And I'm so happy for my van. I sometimes, but the story is also when we met first time, we had bought this bus from 1973, and driving up the mountains in Spain was like 34 kilometers an hour. And we talked about what I really wanted, and you was like, then you want 6 cylinders, a Mercedes, and you want automatic gear. And now when I'm accelerating up the mountains in this
You
big
think
as car,
about David every time.
I think about the video and I'm like, oh, I love it. And, yeah.
He says, "Oh, thank you, David."
So from the praising to how did you get that idea that a mechanic could earn money online? Because it is, for many people, when I tell the story, they're like, is that possible?
Yeah. Well, like the idea,
You were doing it already.
eh?
You were doing it all your life. Tú lo hacías antes sin cobrar.
Yeah. At the beginning was my hobby, because I study mechanics after my father teach me, because he was a teacher in a mechanical high school. He teach me with the car and with the books together in the same time, no? So for me it was very nice. But for me, converted in my hobby. After a few time, I study mechanics, but I continue study other things, but I maintain the mechanics in my hobby. No? My friends, for example, ring me, hey man, I have some problems, I have some noise in my car. Okay, come home, we will check. All right, maybe example, you have the pads for the brakes is done, so maybe we can change. I can change. If you want to learn with me, I'm fine, and it's nice for you, and you pay only the parts, and it's okay. Oh, perfect, yes. Year to year, at some point one day, Carla coming and say me, what are you doing? No, I'm here in a group, Facebook group, answer some guy that he asked for some problem in them car. Everybody say a lot of things and everything is wrong. So I write technical things and like this, maybe you do something. And she say me, why you don't win money with like this? And he say, no, why? It's my hobby. It's for fun. It's for help.
I'm doing nothing, he said. And I'm like, it's your time, it's your knowledge. You can charge people for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's fair enough. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you have
Because
an
we were
expertise.
already researching how to earn money while traveling. So I was
Exactly.
reading things. So it was like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It was a
that's
click.
It's the female power.
Yeah, exactly.
Es la lista jefa.
Yes. So during the few months we was talking about how create the different service make a good composition for sale. So yeah, in November, 6 years ago, we opened the business online. But it's true that before, because through the social network for the family project, Ligrones en Ruta, we opened the social network and we was starting to share and talking about our own process that changed the life, no? Selling all our things, start to talking about the alternative education, the next big trip, everything, no? So we start to follow other accounts and persons in the camper vans world.
The van
van
life
life.
thing
Exactly.
always move a lot of people.
Yeah.
So then we had a lot of people like looking at our thing.
And in this community, Instagrammers with a lot of followers, they have camper vans, and I had them many times. So we start to talking about okay, you can enjoy my service, but you can talk about my service in your social networks. So when we open our service finally, we have a lot of people expectation for about our service. So the first month was super good, and yeah,
And keep
that's
on
it.
working on that and new services. People sometimes is what people needs,
Mhm.
and then he creates a service.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I listen all the time the clients or the people, because they ask me for some things, and sometimes I don't think about this, and I say yes, maybe why not, all the way. Yeah, and but it's because too we saw that in Spain almost nobody do something like I do currently. So it was like yeah, I think it's a good option. We can start. At the beginning was experiment. Since yeah, I mean a few years ago, it's a
The
company.
business.
So
Yeah.
Well, we have recommended it highly already.
Yes.
Thank you.
Not that I don't want to talk about business, but before we pressed record, Carla, you said something because you've just done the big hub in Spain, in Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
And we just talked about community and world schooling. And you said something about how this movement is changing or moving. And I'm just curious to your observations.
You know, I don't really know what it is, but here in Valencia, I did a summit for Spanish community, and then the hub. In the summit, family, there's this mom from Poland,
Yeah.
but she speaks Spanish, so she came to the
The Spanish
summit
hub.
and the hub.
Yeah.
And she told me something that
It's
that
okay.
maybe
I can hear the
maybe
bird.
I
It's a nice
did.
bird.
Maybe she said that most of the people that world school are from the United States, or at least most of the people that come to these hubs. It's possible that we have some kind of different ways of see the things or how we move. So I don't know if it's that or not, because in the end we are different cultures, different ways of doing the things, and there are so many people like starting to travel. I have read in groups like you have to go to pop-ups, hubs, reunions to be able to work school. And I'm like, I'm organizer, but I'm saying, no, you don't have to. I'm not going to hubs. I like to because I make connections, but maybe I go to one in 1 year, or maybe two if I find something that it's just I don't happening. But maybe I don't because I know how to find people. And then there are a lot of people asking, but that depends on how you approach education also, because there are a lot of they want to have activities, and then you enter in a complex field because which kind of activities, because it's some people get together and travel even with teachers.
Yeah.
So, I got a lot of questions because I have this 10 days hub that is just to get to. I was
What
super
was the
nice to have.
curriculum? Yeah.
Yeah, yes. And no, I understand that they can be different, but the options, yes. But then I get a bit like, no, I'm not a company like organizing a tour for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm also a family here. I do this because I like to be in the activities with you.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm the mom of a family that world school, and I want to be with other world schoolers. So now there is like a jungle of things and people looking for things that I think they don't really know what they are looking for. There are many new people.
Yeah.
I think maybe we have the problem that we also have around the unschooling, the concept of unschooling, where a lot of people are flowing into the field of educating from home or living without schools as an institution. And of course, the traveling is a big dream for many people. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like freedom from whatever you feel traps you. So there is a parallel process. And I think with the concept of unschooling is very often misunderstood and being taken over by home educating, like really sitting down at the kitchen table, adults with agendas and curriculum and school books and all these things, and they call it unschooling, just misunderstanding, not really, maybe, I'm not judging here, I'm just saying that lots of people call what they do unschooling when it's actually schooling from home. And in a way, I see that there is an inflow into the world schooling community, where world schooling becomes this ambitious project of bringing your child all over the world. And when they're in Egypt, they need to know about all the dynasties, and they need to learn the hieroglyphs and the language and the dances and all the things. And then they move on to the next country, and it becomes this ambitious, adult-driven project. And I see also in the community that you have world services for world schoolers that actually replicate the mainstream life and the school system. I've seen an advertisement for a credit card with the word world schooling on it, and a desk on a beach, school desk, which really brings together this misunderstanding of what I think you and we mean by world schooling. So maybe we have to be outspoken about what this is all about and not about. It's actually not about schooling.
For me, actually, I mean, you can be a world schooler and go to school. I mean, because world schooling contain everything, because you cannot help learning from the world when you travel. So I know the world schooling is an extension from unschooling, but for me, because also I like to be open and include everybody and everything, because we are diverse and I love people how it is, that's fine for me. But it's true that in this hub, for example, that was only 10 days. There were some families that the kids, sometimes they didn't come to the activity we have that day because they were doing school. And it was like, what? But then it's like, well, okay, I don't know. It's like, it's important for them. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just like, I mean, I don't have a conclusion of nothing. It's just, I'm watching things changing. Maybe before we were less people and we were more with an idea, and now it's more people. So we have more variety of how things are done, and it's fine. So you have to like find your place or find the people and I like to be with different people also, but yeah, I don't have really a conclusion here. I just saying.
No, but
maybe it's like I'm getting not all, but it's been like 6 years, and so most of the people are they've been traveling or educating at home even in Spain, less time than us. So then I'm getting like inputs like when I was starting, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to thinking like, yeah, I don't know what I think now.
I think one of the healthy things about the world schooling concept is that the world schoolers, if we can talk about one group of people, because it is a lot of people, are not defining what it is, that it can hold anything. But I, at the same time, think that it's important to hold a space for those who want to do it in an unschooling kind of way and in an open way, where it is a lifestyle, not an vacation, ambitious vacation. I don't like, I didn't like that advertisement. It made me afraid that unschooling becomes trendy. No, world schooling becomes trendy. But
Yeah.
then people who live the mainstream life, who have their kids in school, bring a curriculum when they finally have the summer break, because then it's just more of the same, and there's a loss of freedom. So for me, it's very much about freedom and also being open to accepting what life offers when it happens. And I can't plan for that. Just like I cannot plan for community, I can be open for community. And I cannot plan for like learning options, but I can be
Yeah.
open to catch it when it lands in front of me.
I don't think it has necessarily anything to do with world schooling, unschooling. I think the bigger picture is that when you, like us and you, have been down this rabbit hole you have been down it on the homeschooling traveling journey for many years, and we have been down 12, 13 years with Storm not being in school and all this. And I think before that, I lived a very output focused life. So when you put children to school, you believe there will be a certain output, and you're looking for what will they learn by having this experience. It's the same with if we, I mean, I don't have that feeling any longer, but if we went on, we have just been in Scotland and saw some wonderful places. The learning is not a goal for me. It's more the curiosity being filled. But I can sometimes in the back of my mind have this, ooh, what would we learn by this? It's very far away now, but I can understand. I can remember how it was. And I think that if you live a life and you're like, oh, let's take a 3 months world travel, and then our kids can world school, then you more or less maybe have this normal way of thinking with a tick box of, then they will have learned all these different things. And that is what I see growing with the popularity growing. Then I see and meet more of this in the community. But I'm a fan of everybody getting out there and just getting a lot of experiences, and just hoping they are not trying to force anyone to have a special coming home and the kids have experienced something wonderful. But if it wasn't on a box that could be ticked off, then wouldn't it be valuable? I hope people don't end there, but I don't think they do.
Yeah, I think of the not the problem, but the things when you listen about the concepts, no? World schooler, they say what the concept, no? I think at each family, it depends of your culture or society that you start, you have some point of view. So when you meet with other families around the world, you can open your mind, but depends of the persons. So in the end, it's not the that you say, no, the ticks in your list is more like keep the different experience and different options when you talk with other families doing different things, maybe traveling or maybe not. That she say, you know, sometimes you can bring at your home world school things, so receive persons for the other countries or from the cinema or the food or different things, no? But it's true that in the last years we saw some small explosion, well, no small, but but there are a lot of new families maybe coming for the homeschool education, looking for experience more, put the focus in the tax,
In the learning.
yeah, the learn something, and it's okay. Everything is fine. It's okay.
I was just thinking, why did you two start traveling?
Didn't choose again. Life was like that,
Mm.
and it was. Yeah, at the beginning we were just moving from the Canary Islands to the mainland of Spain
Mm.
because we had a van and it was super small, and in holidays we just want to go to the mainland, go to the Pyrenees in the north, and then go back. So if we live in the mainland, we are already in the continent,
Yeah.
so we could go anyway. And so we wanted to look for a alternative project, and then find a place and stay. But then it was like, yeah, but how much time do we need to see if a place is
We like it.
right for us,
Yeah.
you know? So then we decided that because we said at the beginning like 6 months to look for the place.
And
And
check.
then but then it was like it's too short. How? Because at least we need to stay a couple of months in a place. So then it's like it's not enough. So then we go step by step, because one thing I have learned is like when you do a step in another direction, you see things that before you were not seeing. So you are in a different position. So then when we were there, then the thoughts keep on evolving. And then we say, well, maybe the trip can last what it has to last. So then we have this indefinite trip. And then we decided that I wanted to go to the summit, Worldschooling Summit in Thailand, because I had to meet those people. And then once we were there, it was another thing. And then at some point, it's like, oh, we are doing this. It's the same like the homeschooling. I never thought of being a homeschool mom. But then it's like, oh, it's what I'm doing. And then it's like, oh no, I'm an unschool mom. Oh, it's what I'm doing. So it's not that I'm gonna do this. No, it's like we are like just
You are in the
living.
process.
I don't know. You live, you make decisions, and then it takes you to some point, but it's not a goal we have. Super their goal. I'm brilliant. No, we don't have this. We have
It's a little-
this is the family. It's like our like goal. We have it already. We have it all. No, I mean,
It's a little bit like when people ask us how we plan our travels. I mean, I think your family and our family, we've been traveling the same. I think you left the Canary Islands when we left Copenhagen, more or less at the same time. So it's a long time. And when people ask us, how do you plan your travels? Short answer is we don't. They happen. And sometimes we think we want to slow down, or we want to just have a house and be like everyone else and have a base and just stay there and go away for 6 weeks a year. But it kind of never happens.
Oh, but 6 weeks in one place is also a long time.
Yeah, but it's the reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny how when we just stay open to whatever happens, then a lot of things happen. I mean, the community happens and the adventures happen, and yeah, and when would you even plan? That's another question I really have in my mind. When would I sit down and plan for something? Because there's always something happening right now. So, I mean, even it was stressing me out to a point of almost breakdown that I had to book an Airbnb for November.
Yeah, but we succeeded.
We did it.
Yeah. I have a question or a thought, which is, what do you do about the fear? I believe a lot of people, when they hear that life just happens and you just follow along, they would maybe be a little afraid. I remember I was, before this more free life we have now, I was 22 years in an office in wonderful jobs, but I was still sitting in an office for many, many years of my life. And this freedom is kind of terrifying, and then my question is it when you plan the future too much, you get afraid because what if things turn out differently? Maybe it's the not being too precise that makes it one's able to not be afraid. It's a question and a thought.
Maybe you want to answer. I know my answer, but I know your. I don't. You know, I'm not afraid, but even yes, I have two things to say. One is like I plan things. I love planning. I love planning the things. Yeah, but I'm not. Wait, sorry, it's my screen. But I'm not afraid that the things don't go as I want. It's like I have a range of like visualization of things. Like it could be like awesome. And it could be shit. It's like I'm prepared for both. So it's like if I scare or I have fear of something, I always visualize the worst thing. And it's like, and then what does would mean, what I would do. And if it's something I cannot sustain, maybe I will do different, or if I can, I don't know. Sometimes you can't. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I can hold. What is this scare about? Is about us, or is about confronting other people, the expectations you create to others or to you? Because I always come to my mind when women get pregnant and they don't want to say it because maybe it go wrong, so they wait till the 4th month, or I don't know when, to say it. For example, because you create expectations or to others or to you. Maybe it's a bad example, but also in that case, I was not afraid. You know, it's like, I don't know. So with the planning the future is the same. I'm not scared. Now we have tickets for January to Japan. Yeah. So, and it lasts like, it's like, because that was a plan we wanted to do. So we work this summer and we earn money. So we have the money. And then I have all this event in September. And I was thinking, if I wait till October to buy the tickets, maybe it will be expensive. So in 1 week, I was doing the research of the prices and the tickets and everything. And it's like, I don't know, do I have to buy it or not? And it's like, that was a plan. That's good. So it was like, and we bought them. I don't know what are we going to do in these 3 months, but we have these tickets. Yep. I have to plan now, but I know I can plan in 2 months. And if I don't have plan, we will go.
Yeah, we will do.
Anyway, but if I don't buy, I mean, and it also can happen that we don't go, because I'm really bad with my knees. Now I'm better. But a few weeks ago, I even said, maybe we don't go to Japan, because if I have to do something, then we don't. And it's money, but it's just money. So I don't know if this is the fear you were talking about, or it was another fear. But I plan. It's like we are so different. I like to plan, to have. I mean, I can plan, but I also can change. It's like,
you're not attached too much to if it go as planned.
Exactly, it can go different. But for me, it's important to have the direction. Where are we going? I'm not good at flow. He's good at flowing. I'm not. So
But
Yeah.
I think we actually very often have like you have your plane tickets for Japan. Last year we bought plane tickets for Mexico. We didn't buy a return ticket. We just bought a ticket over there, and that took a lot of, for some reason, that took a lot of courage, and it was also the same feeling. This is a lot of money, and yeah, but then we did it, and we had a great adventure in Las Americas. So it's not that we don't plan at all, and we are very often talking about how if we could make a little more commitment, maybe things would be easier. But I think a lot of our travels, just the plans come from things that happened that I couldn't have planned for. So leaving an open space for change and leaving an open space for, not being attached to having to do specific things. There are very few things that we insist on, like we are doing this. And sometimes just having one within a time frame of 2 months can really define a lot of a journey, because you have to get there, and then this gets in the way, and you have to keep insisting, or it's a specific day, so suddenly you're in a hurry and you have to learn to cope with that. So maybe I was lying a little bit before when I said we never plan. We do plan. It's just like you said, we have to also be open to letting go of it.
Yeah. And I think one of the answers I've come to is that it is when I've been too trying to control what life is, then I get stressed. When I've been too focused on things should being in one way and they aren't, then I can get annoyed with myself or the surrounding of things. And that is one of the things that traveling has given me in my life, is this you get ready to pivot, I think it's called in English, maybe I don't know, but to turn on to change direction very quickly and say, okay, now life is like this, then how do we handle that? And that stamina from traveling, being a place and wherever we should sleep that night is not working or anything, this not freaking out and just saying, okay, what are the options, and then solving it. That is a great gift that has come with this life, I think. And from that, bridging into what have you learned from your 6 years of traveling? Good luck choosing one thing.
I can say one, it's not, maybe it's also a learning, but I was thinking about the fears or the feelings we had. And I remember the first day when we arrived in the mainland, because for us, the part was to put our van in a boat and go into the mainland. So when we arrived, it took us 1 year to, sort out everything with the house, with everything. But we didn't, I know, both together to sell everything, prepare the vans. 1 year, then we left, and then we arrived in the mainland of Spain, and we didn't have nothing planned, absolutely nothing, not even the place we were going to sleep. That you just say, like, there's no problem. But I mean, we were doing holidays or things, and where are we going to sleep? Here, and we are going here. And so it's like we get out of the ferry, and it's like driving, summer, super hot in Cadiz, and I'm like, where are we going? And he's like, I don't know. We need to go. Where are we going? Because we have 2 little kids. They are gonna be hungry. They're gonna be, and I was so stressed. Like, we need to stop. We need to stop plan, because we just get out of the ferry and just driving, and no, we need to stop. We have to go to the beach. So then we stopped and we went to the beach, breathe. And I remember, like, myself in the water, looking the world with a completely different eyes, because everything is in our heads. Before, when you are in like a normal life, even when you are a kid and you go to school, you are on holidays, but there is always this date in the calendar in red when you go back to something. But now there was blank calendar, blank nothing, black. And I was like, no, not really, but in my head, yes, I was like, wow, like how do you say vertigo? Like when you're in a high and you,
Yeah.
no?
I think
Yeah?
it's called vertigo in English, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, vertigo. Yeah, I was like that. And this, because of everything, I'm a doing person. I do things all the time. So it's like, what I'm gonna do now? It was one of the main points. Like do whatever we wanted. But then it's like you have too much. Just you have to,
All options.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also the money. The money it's a thing. It's like since the beginning, I was like, we have to do something because we need money. We have to do something because we need money. So and we have more money than now. I mean, we have our savings. So with time also I learned everything is about uncertainty. How much how much uncertainty you can sustain or you can cope with. And this is the freedom you have.
Yeah.
But you don't, but for me, there is a balance because he's like the flowest person in the world. I don't know, I just invented the word, the flowest person because he flows. So we meet our balance like, okay, you don't have to everything under control, but if you flow all the time, for me, you need an action and a way of action. So make things happen that they can happen or not, but you have a, a, a path to follow. You follow a path that can change or not. Yes, and then I realized that I can hold now more uncertainty, a lot more than before, and I feel more freedom. I feel free.
I
Because
love
also I know the options. We have learned we can do so many things. Yeah, we also have learned that we didn't know, because in our society you become so technically specialized in something. You know, I was working in a lab, molecular materials, designing things, and that was my thing. I was doing more things because yeah, I have this opportunity in my family, so I study other things, but I live with these other things like earn money. I mean, and then we have learned we can do a lot of things. So this also give us freedom, how the world works, what things people do for a living, and it's not that complicated. In other countries, you have a job and then you can leave it, and it's not that like in Spain. No, your whole life in the same thing, and so there are different ways, and this is also something we have learned.
Yeah.
I just realized one thing about the options and the planning, because you talk about fear. And I think we've become so, we have all these blank days in the calendar. We have all this freedom to do whatever we want, and not whatever, but we have a lot of different options all the time. What scares me is making the decisions. I mean, my fear comes when I've made a commitment, like that booking of an Airbnb for all of November, an entire month, which also means I have to be there, not the 200 other places I could have been November 1st. That took me actually a sleepless night.
Yeah.
After I booked it. It was like, how do I go? Which is, I'm very good at not knowing what will happen and being open to whatever. I'm not super good at knowing, but after we did it, it's a few days ago, lots of other pieces have just fallen into place that will make us all the question marks that were annoying, all the things we couldn't really decide, didn't really know what are we doing here, what we'll do about that thing, and how can we handle this. So once I did make a commitment, a lot of other things did actually work. I just have a new kind of fear that I have to overcome. And it's not knowing, it's knowing. It's backwards now.
Yeah, I would like to kind of sum up the podcast. I think that what you said, Carla, was so beautiful. The amount of uncertainty you can hold is the amount of freedom you have. I think that is, you said that, and I was like,
a t-shirt with
yeah,
my name on it. Yeah.
That is a wonderful,
wise.
that is a wonderful quote, because it is,
it's wise.
it is wise, and it's wild to meet the uncertainty. And it's also sometimes it's sometimes in my darkest moments, I have wished myself back to the office, like the guy from the Matrix, where I'm just like, can't I just go to, can I just go back to sit in a place for 8 hours a day and come home and everything is like it should be. So sometimes I've not been ready to hold the uncertainty, but I'm a lot stronger now. I've hold so much uncertainty in my hands. And I would love people to be able to find you, read about your projects, all the things you're going on. So if you could be so kind to share where people can follow your travels and your business and everything.
Eso va para mí.
Para quien sea.
Oh.
You can find us in our family project is Ligrones en Ruta, because this is like our family thing. Ligrones is like a ligron. He's ligron.
Hello.
Yeah, we are in Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, we have a website also, and there we share everything. We have his business.
Yep. This is Gecko Camper. I have a website for service and social network too, in Instagram and Facebook.
And then I have Planeta World School.
Yeah.
In Spanish.
We will put the links in the show notes.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
I have a final question.
Perfect.
On David's t-shirt, it says "Don't obey."
Yes, I put my
Read. So I needed to see that red word. Great.
Yeah, but it's true.
I've only seen the top of the letters throughout the whole. What does it say?
Yeah.
No.
No, read. Don't they read. And
Yeah.
that's oh yes.
Perfect. That's a perfect landing spot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your time. It was wonderful hanging out with you.
It was fun to hang out with you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. I hope we can see you soon.
Yes.